Let's start our weekend off with some creativity. I'm Molly Phillip, and this is Studio Saturdays, and today we'll be making paper stained glass windows inspired by a work by the studio of Louis Comfort Tiffany.
For today's project, you'll need a bag of tissue paper squares, a glue stick, a sheet of transparency film, a Sharpie, one piece of white paper, and a pencil. Everything but the piece of white paper and the pencil can be found in your art kit. But before we get started, let's take a closer look at our featured artwork from the collection. This is Tiffany Studio's Christ the Redeemer, made in 1929, and is stained and painted glass. Louis Comfort Tiffany opened the Tiffany Glass and Decorating Company in 1892. As the son of Charles Louis Tiffany, the founder of the famous Tiffany & Co., Louis was surrounded by art from a young age and could fund multiple trips throughout Europe, North America, and even once to North Africa. Though he began his career as a painter in 1866, Tiffany soon moved on to glasswork and the decorative arts, or the manufacture of furniture, art objects, wallpapers, fashion, and ceramic artworks. It was his background as a painter that inspired Tiffany's experimentation with combining two or more colors of glass, and his creation of opalescent, marbleized, and confetti-type glass. This painterly, never-before-seen style of glasswork is what made Tiffany so popular, as he was able to transform stained glass windows into glowing watercolor paintings. His vibrant depictions of nature and use of organic lines solidified his place in the Art Nouveau style. Like Tiffany, the Art Nouveau style was used across mediums in graphic arts, furniture, glass, fashion, ceramics, jewelry, and metalware. If you're interested in seeing more of Louis Comfort Tiffany, Florida is home to two of the largest collections of his work in the world, at Flagler College and the Charles Hosmer Morse Museum of American Art. Today, we'll be making our own stained glass windows using tissue paper, transparency paper, and a black Sharpie as substitutes for glass and lead. When designing your window, think about how the pieces of your design will come together to create a whole image, or how you can break up your design to mimic stained glass. Be sure to take a look at the different colors of tissue paper from your art kits, and think about how you can use or combine those colors. Because the Art Nouveau style focused on nature, I chose to put a flower in my window, but feel free to make your window about whatever you'd like, or look up examples to get inspired. Here's some questions to think about while you work. What did you choose to make your window about, and why? And did thinking about the colors of the tissue paper change your design? Why or why not? Start by drawing a design for your stained glass and flip it over, drawing side down. Make sure the drawing fits within the sheet of transparency you'll be using. Trace your drawing on the back of your paper. This will ensure that it will not be backwards when you transfer the image later on. Take your film transparency and place it on top of your traced drawing, taping it down to keep the pieces from shifting. Gather pieces of tissue paper in different colors and grab a glue stick. Be sure your glue stick dries clear. Begin layering pieces of tissue paper within your design, gluing them down as you go. As you place down your tissue, think about the lines of the drawing you made and the transparency of the tissue. Build on colors by overlapping your paper, or trim it down with a scissor to fill areas with a specific shape. For younger artists, or a more experimental look, you can create a collage of colors without any particular design. Carefully remove the tape from your transparency. Turn your paper over so your original drawing, not the one you traced, is facing up. Lay your transparency over your drawing, making sure to line up the tissue paper and the areas they're meant to fill. Tape down to prevent shifting. Take a Sharpie or permanent black marker and carefully trace your drawing. Don't worry, you'll still be able to see it through the tissue paper. Once you're done tracing, remove the tape from your transparency. Cut out your stained glass design, but only if it needs cutting, like mine. You can also just fill the entire transparency, no cutting required. Now you can just hang it on a window and enjoy!
Thank you so much for starting your weekend off with some creativity with me. This week we made a paper stained glass window inspired by the studio of Louis Comfort Tiffany. I hope you enjoyed this activity. And instead of coming back next week, we're actually going to be taking a little bit of a break, but I'll see you back here the first Saturday in October. Until then, I hope you guys stay safe, and have a wonderful summer.
Thanks again for joining us for Studio Saturdays. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell to find out when a new video is uploaded. Have a good day!